AI is completely rewiring our world, and, nowhere is that more obvious than in the world of work. Seriously, it's a revolution, and it's happening at a scale and speed we have literally never seen before. Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to unpack the promise, the peril, and the really profound choices we all face as AI marches into the workplace.
I mean, to really get a sense of the scale here, just look at this chart. The speed is, well, it's just mind-blowing. Netflix, it took them over 7,000 days to get to 100 million users. Instagram, 854, and ChatGPT, just 61 days. 61! This isn't just another tech trend, you guys. This is a tidal wave.
And you know what follows that kind of crazy growth, right? Money. A lot of money. This user frenzy has kicked off a total investor gold rush. In 2023 alone, venture capitalists dumped over $25 billion into generative AI. This isn't just people throwing money around. It's a massive bet that AI is about to fundamentally reshape the entire global economy.
And if you think that's big, wait till you see the projections. Bloomberg Intelligence thinks the generative AI market could hit $1.3 trillion by 2032. That enormous economic potential is the engine driving this whole revolution. So the point is this technology is here, and it is not going anywhere. But what does it actually do?
All right, so let's start with the good stuff, the promise of AI. Let's look at how it's basically becoming the new operating system for modern business. Look, for companies today, we're not just talking about getting some fancy new tool. This is about survival. Integrating AI is quickly moving from being a nice competitive advantage to being a basic requirement for just staying in the game.
Okay, but how does it actually create value? Well, it's being woven into the very fabric of how companies work. It's using predictive analytics to guess what customers will want with scary accuracy. It's optimizing inventory so stuff doesn't go to waste. It's even keeping an eye on suppliers to spot risks in real time. It's a full system upgrade. And here's a perfect example of what this looks like in the real world. Take UPS. They have this AI-powered routing system called Orion. It just crunches insane amounts of data to find the absolute best delivery paths. And the result? They save 100 million miles and millions of gallons of fuel every single year. That's a huge win for their bottom line and for the planet.
And it is happening everywhere. Unilever's using AI to sync up its entire global supply chain. Zara is spotting fashion trends as they happen, so they don't make a bunch of clothes nobody wants. Siemens is using it to predict when a machine is going to break weeks before it actually does. The efficiency gains are just undeniable.
Okay, so that's the corporate side of things. But that's only half the story, right? The benefits for the company are super clear. But what about the actual people who work there? Let's pivot and take a look at what this all means for the individual worker. And this really gets us to the heart of the matter. All this optimization, all this efficiency, it's awesome for the balance sheet. But does it actually make for a better day at work for the human beings on the factory floor, in the warehouse, or behind the wheel? Now, the first thing everyone thinks about is, oh no, the robots are going to take all the jobs. But as researchers from Oxford point out, that story is a little too simple. The real issue, the one that's happening right now, isn't so much about the number of jobs, but the quality of the jobs that are left.
And to really get this, there's a key idea you need to know. It's called risk shifting. Basically, this is when a company uses technology, like AI, to take all the messy, unpredictable, costly parts of doing business and just offload them onto its employees.
So what does that actually look like? Let's break it down. Say a company wants to avoid the risk of having too many people on staff when things are slow. So it uses an AI scheduler to create these just-in-time shifts, which leaves workers with totally unstable hours and paychecks that are all over the place. Or a company doesn't want to pay for inefficient time, so drivers for rideshare apps don't get paid for the time they spend just waiting for a passenger. The risk gets shifted from the company to the worker.
And this can get really extreme. For instance, leaked documents from Amazon showed that an AI system was tracking warehouse workers for insufficient productivity, and it could automatically fire them. The machine literally becomes the manager, enforcing this relentless, inhuman pace. So efficiency for the company can end up meaning a lot more instability and pressure for the worker.
So this is the crossroads we're at, right? We have this immense promise on one hand and some really big dangers on the other. So how do we get all the good stuff from AI without the terrible downside? Let's talk about how we can build a better, more ethical bot.
To make sure AI actually serves humanity, we need some ground rules. 1. Fairness. It can't be baking in our biases. 2. Transparency. We have to be able to understand why it's making the decisions it's making. 3. Accountability. A human has to be in charge, period. And 4. privacy. It has to protect our data. These are the non-negotiables. For a manager, this could be as simple as using AI to help review resumes, but never ever letting it make the final hiring decision.
And we've got real-world examples of this. Here's what it looks like when you get it right. Microsoft worked with people with disabilities to create tools that empower them, like an app that literally narrates the world for someone who's visually impaired. Amazing. And here's what happens when you get it wrong. Amazon built an AI hiring tool that, because it was trained on old biased data, taught itself to be biased against women. They had to scrap the whole project. The difference is building with these ethical guardrails from the very start. And the good news is, people are paying attention. This isn't just a theoretical chat. All around the world, governments and big organizations are racing to write the rules of the road for AI. You've got the EU's Big AI Act, the White House's AI Bill of Rights. There's a real global push to get some guardrails in place.
Okay, so let's zoom out and put this all together. What we've seen is that AI isn't inherently good or bad. It's an incredibly powerful tool. And just like any tool, its impact depends entirely on how we decide to use it. There's this great term from an economist named Joseph Schumpeter, creative destruction. It describes how new technologies create these incredible new industries and opportunities, but at the same time, they destroy old ways of doing things. AI might just be the ultimate example of this, a huge force of change that's both creating and destroying on a massive scale.
This quote just nails it. AI is a double-edged sword. It's got this incredible potential, but that potential is completely tied to its very real risks. You can't have one without the other, which means we have to be really careful about how we manage both sides of that blade.
And if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this. Technology doesn't have its own destiny. The future of AI at work isn't already written. It's going to be the direct result of all the choices, big and small, that we're making right now. As developers, as leaders, as policymakers, as people.
We're standing at this incredible moment of transformation, where technology and humanity are blending together in ways we're only just starting to wrap our heads around. The potential for progress is immense, but so is the responsibility we hold.
So I want to leave you with this question. We know AI is a tool that will reshape our world. That's a given. The only real question left is, who gets to draw the blueprint? What choices are we going to make to ensure this incredible tool builds a future that isn't just more efficient, but one that's also more fair and ultimately more human?